All right, guys, we're live. All right, so we took care of business in an interesting fashion, I would say. My dad is not joining us. He had something else he had to take care of today. We may be trying to dial him in a little bit later in the show. We also want to talk about the Bengals win. It was a win. It's always good to get a win in the NFL. But before that, I want to talk about homage, dog check. You got the little H on the shirts. Get your stuff at Homage right now. Big fans of the brand, big fans of the company in general. And we've got our little Homage logos on everything. Isaiah, Max, Lathanos, what's going on, guys? Welcome. And all right, so let's talk about the Bengals game. First half opening drive looked really good. I think we got boned by that Njoku fumble thing. These refs were just making up rules. This was definitely not the refs, the A squad for the refs. This game. This is definitely not the A squad for the broadcast team either. Anytime Tiki Barber comes anywhere near a microphone, bad things are going to happen, guys. So that was not a good team, and the refs were clearly they almost felt like they were lost half the time. But we got a couple calls that went our way. We got a couple calls that didn't go our way. So and in critical points in the game, you could talk about the interception at the end of the game after we had the bobbled pass from Jarvis that got overturned. No, I'm sorry, it was upheld because they initially thought it was going to be a catch, and then they overturned it on themselves to an incomplete pass. Then they reviewed it and upheld that as an incomplete pass. Then and Kareem Hunt was wide open in the flat. Baker could have just dumped him a little dump, and he's wide open in the flat, and we get a first down, and the drive continues. Then the very next play, we try to force the ball. Baker forces the ball to OBJ, who then gets interfered with, right? I mean, that happens. He gets interfered with, but they review it, and it's pass interference. Okay, so we were lucked out there. Yeah, so just going back to chat, so really, really ugly. Maybe they should shut down Baker for a year. No, we're not shutting down Baker. Dog check. Yeah, I didn't care much for this game. Why did it not feel like a win? It didn't feel like a win because we thought we were going to crush them, and I think that's the other thing. We still have not played 4 quarters of football other than maybe the first Baltimore game. I'll give one game this season. It looks like we might have played 4 quarters of football. All right. This is bullshit. I was off by 3 points each. Max Nicolendo says, after the Pittsburgh loss, it's all over. I'm going to move this down so I can actually not be staring up at it at the chat. What else do we got here? Go Browns. Win's a win. Yeah. Go Browns. We gotta root for Arizona now. We always gotta root for against Pittsburgh. Yeah. So hopefully Arizona pulls it off. Freddie's is the reason Baker is struggling right so much. I agree with that. I think Freddie's a problem right now, guys. I can no longer defend him. I like I said, I like him as a man. I like him as a person, but I'm having some serious doubts that he can coach at the NFL level. And looking today at halftime with the worst defense against the rush in the NFL, and our coach runs the ball with his current NFL leading running back and a guy who led the NFL in rushing 2 years ago. He runs them for a total of 6 plays in the first half versus the worst defense against the run. Fred, dude, stop forcing the ball to OBJ and Jarvis. Stop doing it. You got to stop doing it. The opening drive wasn't his fault. We started going well. He throws it to Njoku. Njoku lands. He landed. His back hits the ground, and then they called that a fumble recovery because the guy ripped it out of his hands. I think they're just inventing new ways to be wrong, the NFL refs. It's pretty ugly. All right, looking back at chat again. They got lucky. Baker had 3 interceptions. I think he only had 2 because that one got called back. Could have ran Chubb all day. I agree. And that one long run that Chubb had where he ran for, I think it was like 50-something yards. He ran, and I think the Bengals thought that there was a holding penalty because they saw the flag, so they didn't really try, right? Freddie shows with each game that he can't coach, says Max. The Drowns have not looked like a unit all season. General Patton, it looks like the team wants to quit on Freddie. CH, coaching. My goodness. Gary Washington, Odell is not getting used to it. It is not getting used at all. It's frustrating. Max says he tries to make Odell happy. Typical gamer. Ran the ball 6 times. What the hell is Freddie doing? I agree. Typical gamer. That was pretty bad. Gary Washington, but he forces the ball to Odell. Jarvis Landry's a beast. Out of the 2 guys, I like Jarvis, to be honest. I think Jarvis is fine. I think that if we were to trade OBJ or get rid of him, unless he comes directly out and says, I want out of Cleveland, then, and he's not going to do that because doesn't mean that we will trade him. He's under contract through 2023. He's playing with Jarvis. I think that OBJ needs to start practicing during the week, and he needs to play in preseason, and he needs to man up and be a contributing member of the team all year round, as opposed to like when he wants to. I think that's what it is. We need to stop forcing balls to our diva wide receiver and start throwing and start running. We are a running team. This is a running team. Good things happen when you run the ball. When you have Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt, good things happen. Play action happens too. So we have play action that can open that up. We have swing passes that we can do. We have screen passes. Now I got to tell you, I will give this to Freddie. I will give this one thing to Freddie today. I think that double wide receiver screen, the fake screen to Kareem Hunt, and then the screen to Jarvis that went for like 50 yards at the end of the game and basically sealed the win for us after Siebert got the field goal, or before Siebert got the field goal. That was a brilliant call. And I would say Baker Mayfield for having the patience to wait, not do the first, not throw it to the first one, but throw it to the second. It almost waited too long, and you could have technically, you might have had a block, an illegal early block on either Ricky Seals or Njoku. Can't remember who it was. So it could have been that, and also could have been it could have been very close to a legal man downfield. But they were, he had to get 5 yards. I think in Petonio was like 4 or 3.5. So it wasn't a legal man downfield, but it could have been an early block. Trade OBJ, and re-sign Hunt, and fire Kitchens. Typical gainer. Don't look now. It's 3rd and 1, and we have an empty backfield. Dude, I say that every time. When we have an empty backfield, we do not have the offensive line to telegraph to the defense we're throwing the ball. We don't have the offensive line to be able to do that because they're just going to go, hey, if we rush him, that means if somebody isn't open within a fraction of a second, that's all Baker has. He has 1 second. He catches the ball and he has to be throwing. And if he's not, they're teeing off on him. Our offensive line is just not that good. He can't hold him off that long. Isaiah Gassina, this has been the most frustrating year I've been a Browns fan by far. Yeah, it's a tough one, guys. We're 6-7. Freddie Kitchens has now double the amount of wins as Hugh Jackson, and there's a lot of people that are calling for him to be fired as a coach. It's good. My dad and I talked about it on the pregame show. It's going to be really tough if he goes 8-8 or somehow goes 9-7. It's going to be really tough to replace Freddie. Really tough to replace him. 8-8 is the best season we've had since 2007, and then in over 10 years. How do you fire a guy in his first season when that's happening? Unless there's some stud that's out there. If there's a Lincoln Riley out there, I'm down with that. All right, what else do we got? Gary Washington, bring on Ron Rivera. He'll make the defense better, Baker better, and we'll have the deep ball working as well. I don't necessarily disagree. I just don't think Ron Rivera's I don't think he's that sexy of a pick, but I think he would. We talked about this before. I think he would be an upgrade. I just don't know if it's enough to say, like, do we believe Ron Rivera is the answer? Because if we replace Freddie at this point, we have to have the answer, not just another guy who's going to be a mild upgrade. John Schlegel Esquire says Baker has waited too long on multiple passes today, like literally 1/2 second behind an open receiver. That's a problem. And I think that's part of the offense. I think that's part of what whatever this hybrid Todd Monken, Freddie Kitchens offense has turned into. Whatever it is, it takes too long for plays to develop, and Baker's not dumping the ball off nearly enough. All right, what else we got? Cleveland CBI put a cake in the end zone, and Freddie Kitchens will run himself. John's like, I'm not done with Freddie yet. Willing to be done with him. I'm not ready. Just right now. Brent Woodell. The run would set up the pass, not the other way around. I agree. Kitchens goes 8-8, fired. This is an 11-5 team easily. Gary Washington, look at the talent. I mean, it's tough to argue that. Those are the expectations going in. No matter what, if you go 9-7, 8-8, it is failing the expectations. But is it failing the expectations in the threshold that would say fire guy? I don't know. I don't know. I think it'd be tough at 8-8. Kyle Lou, what's up? Typical gamer, that is true, but I don't know. I think you meant to say no. It's tough to decide right now. He had Baltimore for him, to say my book. Yeah. Mick the dog, glad we won, was meh win if I ever saw one. I agree. Jason 732. You can't fire a coach at 8-8, especially with our history. I mean, honestly going 8-8 in your first year as a head coach is better than Belichick. It's better than a significant amount of coaches. I'd have to go back. Probably better than Schottenheimer. 8-8, it's a successful year for a first-year head coach for us, although we had the expectations. That's the difference. Brian Jordan, let's go Browns. Pick the dog. Eon, I don't know what that means. Nikolenko, the talent on this team. Freddie's bad coach. We're going to fire him. Jonathan Schlegel says, I don't think OBJ goes anywhere. OBJ has his best friend on his own team, and he lives a few blocks away. I think that's one of the things. Like, I don't think Jarvis wants to leave. Jarvis believes he likes Cleveland. I think he saw Cleveland as believing in him. He doesn't want to go anywhere. OBJ is, to be honest, OBJ hasn't done anything this year that I would say he is an absolute requirement to stay on this team. If we want to move him, that opportunity is going to be there. But then you have to look back and go, what will that do to Jarvis? Will that disenfranchise Jarvis? Well, Jarvis said, fine, get rid of me too. That's a problem. I don't want that to happen. I want to see Jarvis stay engaged. I will tell you this. Another point that I was making on the pregame show is that I don't think that you can. I don't think if the Browns end up going 9-7, right? That means that we have gone 5-1 in the division with the one loss at Baltimore. That means we beat the Bengals again at the end of the season, and it means that we beat Baltimore at home. If we go 5-1 in division and go 9-7, guys, we got to keep Freddie Kitchens. There's no question about that. We're keeping Freddie Kitchens, and then we're making some other probably tactical changes. We got to keep Prefer. Prefer's been fantastic as a special teams coach. My God, has that been an upgrade over Amos? Holy crap. Prefer, yes, huge. Other conversations. I don't want a coach that drinks milk in Cleveland, says Jonathan Schlegel. Typical game. Jim Harbaugh would not be bad. Anybody with experience. I don't think this is a Harbaugh team. Cliff Brown, hey Mike, the play calling was a bit better this game. The running backs were used better. Yes, in the second half they were. I would agree. The second half they were. And we got lucky with some calls in the second half. Jonathan Schlegel, 1,000 yards plus this year for OBJ, plus only a few less targets than Jarvis. Gary Washington, on paper, there is no team more talented on offense than the Browns. I agree. Mick the dog, play calling was a bit better this game. OBJ is just underperforming expectations. Not at all a shit wide receiver. Nobody would say OBJ is a shit wide receiver, but for the amount of press, for the amount of just fury and flurry that is mentioned about OBJ, it seems like he'd be the second coming of Christ. Baltimore game is our Super Bowl, pretty much. Yeah, it really is. The Baltimore game right now is it will all come down to that, because it'll essentially be like, are we going to go 8-8, or are we going to potentially go 9-7? But we have to get through it past Arizona today, and I don't really know a whole lot about Arizona. I know they're 3-8-1. That's what I know about the record. I haven't watched them play this year. I think they're a dangerous team because Kyler Murray is one of those dangerous guys. Yeah, so who knows? It's going to be on to Arizona, and we'll see what happens. Freddie Kitchens is openly admitting that 3 years of Hugh was stupid, he says. Isaiah Isaiah says Todd Monken fired and Freddie has to give up play calling. That's my prediction. Huh? I mean, maybe that's what it is. My dad believes that Freddie he's bit off a little bit more than he could chew in his first year. And maybe that would solve the problem. Maybe if we had a dedicated offensive coordinator who Freddie works with and helps guide, right? I think that could potentially work. But having a guy who's going to sit there and call plays, that's micromanaging a lot of the game, and then you're giving up a lot of what you're doing then to Steve Wilks. Steve Wilks' defense today, although they didn't let the Bengals get into the end zone other than that one time, they let them run up and down on us like butter a bunch of times. So a good team. I mean, if you look at this, we survived a game against an 11-1 team. That does not make for a playoff caliber team, guys. We are really what our record is. I know everybody's talking about the talent. I know we all had the expectations. Dude, I was thinking the Browns are going to go undefeated and win the Super Bowl by 50 points based on the talent that we have on the team. But so rarely does that happen. And if I have to go back, I think I'm going to have a lot different expectations going into next year than I did this year. This year, it's like, we're shooting for the moon. Next year, we're probably going to have to come back a little bit down to reality. If we go 8-8 or 9-7, we're probably looking at an upgrade to a 10-6, and if 11-5 happened, that'd be fantastic. But I think 10-6 would be what we'd have to shoot for next year to really make it a successful playoffs. And most likely the Ravens are going to be much better than 10-6. So we're probably going to be looking at a wild card berth if we can't get to like 13 wins, because the Ravens are just that good. It's not nearly as explosive this year. I mean, maybe that is. I mean, he's got that hernia, the sports hernia. Maybe that has something to do with it. It's the first season with a whole new coaching scheme, and I was never sold on the offense, the OC from Tampa to begin with, and I don't like his air raid style, says Ryan. Ryan Koval. Gary Washington, OBJ has been calm and kept it together. Honestly, bad as the team has been, and bad as this year has been for him, he hasn't shown much. He has shown so much improvement and handled himself professionally. OBJ gets into a little bit of trouble sometimes, like when our ridiculous Cleveland media comes out and says, "Hey, are you, what does the future hold for you? You're going to be here in Cleveland? Do you want to be here in Cleveland?" All he has to say is like, "Absolutely, I want to be here in Cleveland. I love Cleveland. I love the town. I wish we would have done a little bit better this year, but I get to play with Jarvis Landry, my best friend in the world. I get to play with Baker Mayfield, an up-and-coming quarterback, in a town that loves me, a lot of energy. I want to be here, and I want to be here forever." That's all he had to say, and instead he gets cryptic, and that's why a little bit of the criticisms come out. And probably rightfully so. I mean, it pisses me off that they even have to ask that our Cleveland media has to go and start asking those questions. But if that's the way you're going to answer it and you're going to give them that story, then you're going to give them the story, right? So we have lost a ton on defense. Joe Mixon is a good running back. I think Joe Mixon is a good running back. I agree. Joe Mixon is he's actually a scary running back. You put Joe Mixon on a good team. You put him on like New Orleans or, they don't really run the ball that much. But you put him on a good team. I'll just say any good team. Joe Mixon could be very dangerous. Mick the Dog, OV missing and Miles missing plus Kirko. The D is lucky to be as good as it is. You know what? You're absolutely right with that. You take the number one draft pick that we had on defense, Myles Garrett. You get him gone. Then you get Olivier Vernon, who's another Pro Bowl talent right there. Then you get Kirksey, who is a veteran, knows what he's doing, is kind of the leader of that defense. You get all those guys out, you have a different defense. You're basically you're a skeleton crew to a certain degree. It was nice to see guys. It was nice to see Denzel Ward catching that tipped interception, taking it back to the house. If Andy Dalton would have tackled him going in there, I would have lost my damn mind. But he wasn't afraid of Andy Dalton. He got a little bit of a block and brought it into the house. That was really exciting. It was really good. I would like to see Greedy Williams continue to do a little bit better. I think Greedy often plays soft. He doesn't play the ball all that well. And, I'd like to see Greedy get a little bit more aggressive. And maybe that falls to Wilkes. Maybe Wilkes is the one who's pulling him back a little bit and holding him back. Who knows? This is this year. So Mick the Dog saying to Jonathan Schlegel, Esquire, saying this year was having a red zone offense away 3 to 4 more wins. Maybe, yeah. Some weird decisions on the field today. Ara says, I agree with that. There's weird decisions on the field every day, and I think this is one of the big problems that we happen to see from time to time with the Cleveland Browns is at home. We can sit there and watch this. If we can watch from home and see that there's no linebacker in the middle of the field, and you got Andy Dalton who probably runs a 6.440, he's just going to walk forward and get the first down. So when we see these sorts of things, then you got to look and say, why are you lining up your defense like that? Why do we constantly allow guys who can't run faster than my grandma in a nursing home, like Josh Allen, Ryan Fitzpatrick, and Ryan Fitzpatrick's a little bit crafty type athlete, but still, he's no Lamar Jackson, and we're letting him run right up the middle because we just decide, hey, you know what, the open field, we don't need a linebacker there. That doesn't make any sense. Like Wilkes, come on, bro. I'd like to have. I hope next year we also have a little bit more aggressive of a defense going into games. One thing I will say, other than just how thankful I was that Greg Williams came in and showed up last year and did really well. One thing I will say about Greg Williams, he was aggressive, and you know what? I appreciate aggressive defensive coordinators and defensive call playing. That's it. Putting Julius Peppers, why do I gotta keep going? Jabril, why did I say Julius? Putting Jabril 50 yards in the secondary is the one thing that I found very annoying, and also probably holding Myles Garrett back a little bit from, I guess, some of the conversation. But he was aggressive, and that's the key, and aggressive is important. And I don't think Steve Wilkes is aggressive, hardly at all. To have Andy Dalton, who's about as athletic as, at this stage of his life as I am, I would say to not put constant pressure on him and not make him do things is a mistake. You give him time. Andy Dalton's still an accurate quarterback. He's got a lot of experience. If you don't put pressure on a quarterback in general, you're opening yourself up to the possibility of them making something happen. We saw it happen in Denver. We saw it last week in Pittsburgh, and we saw it today to a certain degree with Andy Dalton. Now, Andy Dalton's not very good. So there was still the typical Andy Dalton, I'm going to throw it 5 yards in front of you, into the dirt in front of you. But the fact that there wasn't that much pressure was still very annoying to watch. All right, typical gamer. When is the last time we had a pick six before Danielle Washington intercepted? It was 2 years ago. It was 2017. I don't know the game, but I saw Andrew Gribble say something about it on Twitter, and I thought that was interesting. It's been 2 years since we had a pick six. I want to say, oh man, I want to say, no, it couldn't have been. I was thinking that it was the one guy that we drafted with Johnny Manziel. I can't remember his name now. It's slipping my mind. Yeah, it's been 2 years. We had constant pressure on him. I don't agree. I don't think we had constant pressure on Andy Dalton. We didn't. I think we sacked him like twice. And he had a lot of time back there. Yeah, guys. So good win. Good that we got a win. That's good. We beat a team that we should have won. I called the game. I said it was going to be 13-30. We ended up 27-19, something like that. So I think that actually let's do that. Let's figure out who was closest in terms of picking the score of the game. First off, Browns, Bengals. Make sure I have the game score correct. It was 27-19. I was right. And let's look. 27-19 was the score. Typical gamer, you're way off. 42-10. Kyle Liu, 27-14. Kyle's pretty damn close. That's a good one. Hambone, 28-21. That's also very close. I think that one is actually, so that's only 3 points off. Kyle, you're a little bit further off than that. So Hambone's got it. Is Hambone in chat? I don't know if he's in chat or not. If not, it would default to Kyle. All right, who else do we got here? We got Captain Rico. Had 30-3, so he's out. Browns fan 1977, 31-10, you're out. 21 Eric Walter says 48-13, you're out. Edward Rahr 24-10, you're out. Mitch Cox, 35-31. You're out. I said my dad had 35-14. So the winner would be Hambone, who had 28-21. 2021. So he was off by 3 points. Kyle, you were off by 5, but I don't think Hambone is in. So, and that would actually make it a little bit easier for me to do my shipping because I owe him a pot holder and an oven mitt as well, so it might be easier. So congratulations, Kyle Lou, if you're there. Hambone's here. He's there. Great, cool. All right. Kyle says, Hambone, good. Send me your address to browniepostgame@gmail. Okay, go away, Ham. Sorry, guys. Sorry, I wasn't looking at chat. I was just looking at the last couple. Hambone, you got it. I apologize. So you're there. You win. You win the Browns mascot ornament. I mean, it's just a dog with a Browns jersey and helmet on. That's definitely not any Browns mascot that I've seen. I mean, I guess. I don't know. But it's a dog. It's a dog. It says the Browns on it. It's an official NFL product. So congratulations. I'm going to hope to get that out to you so you can get it on your tree this year. All right, guys. Yes, guys, congratulations. Dude, I said I mistyped. Okay, everybody chill out. All right, so yes, guys. Well, let's look around the NFL, see how everybody else did in the NFL this week. I have not really been paying attention. NFL scores. I didn't see they were talking about the playoff standings. If anybody in chat knows what the current playoff standings are, I'd love to know that. So right now we've got the Buccaneers are winning. Week 14. Or did they win? Where's the damn score? Okay, so Cowboys, we know about that one. The Buccaneers beat the Colts. It's actually good for us. I mean, it's keeping that shred of hope alive, but it's good. It's there. Let me actually tweet out that we're live, too. This actually might help a little bit. Maybe get a couple more fans in here. Postgame. Got to tweet it out. Okay, so we've got the Buccaneers beat the Colts. That's actually huge. Ravens took care of the Bills. Doesn't really matter unless the Bills collapse. Unless the Bills go 9-7, lose all the rest of their games, then we would have the tiebreaker above the Bills, which is most likely not going to happen. Vikings-Lions doesn't matter. Packers beat Redskins. Whoop-de-doo. Broncos beating the Titans today, and I think the Broncos started Drew Lock. Drew Lock goes 22 for 27, 309, 3 touchdowns, and an interception. Man, if Drew Lock turns out to be the quarterback that a lot of people thought he was going to be, I think that John Elway is going to have a lot of explaining to do waiting this long to play him. My gosh. We are 6-7, tied with Indy, and are 1.5 games out of the wild card right now. Okay, good to know. We have 49. Man, the 49ers are good. I think the Super Bowl is going to be the 49ers versus I think the Ravens are going to win it. I think there's going to be 49ers, Ravens, and I think the 49ers are probably going to win the Super Bowl. Unless they have an answer for Lamar Jackson. We'll see. So Browns win. All right, so we got the Falcons or the Panthers. Doesn't matter. Jets beat the Dolphins today, 22-21. Doesn't matter. Jaguars, Chargers. Doesn't matter. Chiefs, Patriots. Doesn't matter. Titans, Raiders. Somebody has to win that game. I think we need the Raiders to win the game because the Titans are the closest one with us, right? So we need the Raiders, and then we've got Steelers beating the Cardinals 10-0. Great. Late in the first quarter. And then we got Seahawks, Rams, and then Giants, Eagles, two other games that don't really matter really. So yeah, that is what it is. Okay. Titans need to go 1-3 at best. That is possible. Jameis Winston helped us out a lot today. Yes, Colts are out if we win out. We need 3 losses by the Titans, 2 losses by the Raiders, and obviously we need to win them all. Titans need to go 1-3 at least. Woof, James came through. And we need the Raiders to go 1-3. Well, the Raiders are playing today, so they're gonna. If they win today, then they're gonna, and they play against the Titans. So it's like, who do you want? You want the Titans or Raiders? I'd rather have the Raiders winning today. Denver beat Houston, not Tennessee. Did I say Tennessee? Sorry about that. I didn't mean that. Typical gamer. Apologize. Mick the Dog. Raiders can go 2-2, and we still beat them, but they have to beat the Titans. So the Raiders-Titans game is very important. We got to root for the Raiders. Steelers already up. Yep, not good. Drew Lock was hurt up until just a few weeks ago. I live in Colorado. Okay, didn't know that. I thought he was available. They just went with the other kid. Mick the Dog. Well, Pitt already up. Baker gets 2 more picks that were not his fault. That's like 8. And I think also the fact that it'll be overlooked that he actually ran for that touchdown to get him in the end zone, because we don't really look at running touchdowns as being important, even though there still are points, which is stupid. So Baker it just looks like on the stat sheet that he didn't throw any touchdowns and he had 2 interceptions. Tiebreak is on us. We need them to lose. Raiders were winning 7-0 last time I checked. It's 7-7. I'm looking at the score in real time. We need Oakland to lose. Sorry, Raiders 3-1. Yeah, Oakland. No, we can't. Oakland has to beat the Titans. We need Oakland to beat the Titans. The Titans are the problem right now. We can have the Raiders losing next week, but they have to beat the Titans this week. We need Oakland to lose. Sorry, Raiders 3-1. All right, typical gamer. If we win out and both Pitt and us are 9-7, we would have a better division record. Okay, that's a good point, because that would make us, if we win out, that would be 5-1 in the AFC North, and we have better division record, which gives us the edge, which is awesome. Now, I would also like to say, and I think I touched on this a little bit earlier, let's paint the picture here. All right, so let's paint the picture on why you would keep Freddie Kitchens, right? If I have Freddie Kitchens, I have to go and I have to defend my season, my 9-7 season or 8-8 season, but let's say 9-7 season. I can go, look, you haven't had a 9-win season, or you haven't had a 9 or better season since 2007. I went 5-1 in the division. I beat the Bengals twice, which I was supposed to do. I beat the division leading Ravens twice, which nobody thought we were going to do, and I beat the Steelers. At home when we were supposed to do that in a bad game with Myles Garrett out. Now, I think we're going to have a much harder time beating the Ravens the second time around without Myles Garrett. I think that's the fact, and I think we should all be prepared that could be a problem, is beating the Ravens for a second time without Myles Garrett. I mean, Myles Garrett is a bigger problem being out than, a wide receiver or even a running back at this point, because we have depth there. So yes, all right. And the tiebreaker, I should say. So yeah, I guess we get the tiebreaker. That's great. If we go 8-8 or more, keep Kitchens unless Matt Nagy becomes available. I don't really. Kyle Lou, make your case for Matt Nagy. I don't know who that is. I don't know anything about Matt Nagy. Titans have the tiebreaker. Yeah, we got to have the Titans got to lose. So what are our chances against the Ravens, though, realistically? I think we're going to be at least a 10-point underdog against the Ravens at home. So if that says anything. Because the way we've been playing, and because of the way they've been playing, and because we don't have Myles Garrett. We're going to be a 10-point underdog. I don't believe in Freddie's ability to coach. Ravens are going to beat up on us the last game. So I think there's going to be some changes. I think changes are going to have to be made. I think we're going to reflect on this season. I think Dorsey said, hey, look, your first year, you go out and you do it. You do it the best you can. You do it the way that you want to do it. And I think that there's a lot to learn. Your first year doing anything. My first year on the job that I do, I was probably terrible or very bad at it. And, I think everybody's first year doing something for the first time, unless you're just put on this planet to do it or just get a lot of luck. They put up a stat today about coaches that had 1-win coaches. Chuck Noll, Jimmy Johnson. These are coaches that, and somebody else was another guy who had 1 win. their first year coaching. You know, you can't really judge people by those things. And today, to be honest, I felt really bad for the Bengals because they had a lot of plays that just didn't go their way. I think they played a decent game, but just like the Browns had in the past, if you don't get into the end zone, you're not going to win games. You have to score touchdowns in the NFL. And my gosh, can I just please give a game ball to Austin Seibert? That 53-yard kick with a wind and then coming up clutch, kicking the other one. Man, if we had Greg the Leg or Zane back there, I'd be holding my breath. There's no way I would have said kick the 53-yarder. Austin Seibert's an NFL kicker. Thank God we have him. A significantly above average kicker we have in Austin Seibert in wind conditions and the cold. I think the kid's good. Going back to chat, I don't believe in Freddie. Okay. Matt Nagy is the head coach, Chicago head coach last year, coach of the season. Chicago head coach. Why would he be available then? Bears coach, I think Baker would do great. Division record is the first thing they check in tiebreaker rules. When you look at it, that is still worth keeping. When you look at it like that, is he still worth keeping? I don't know. And that's the decision they're gonna have to make. They're gonna have to make the decision if he's worth keeping or not. Never say never. Keep the line improving. I think OBJ gone. Couple new players. I mean, it's tough to say. Like it. You know, one thing I will say, for a wide receiver that's been marginally above average this year, has had a lot of drop passes, doesn't really get into the end zone, and isn't really a threat in the red zone. Why are we even giving him this much? Why are we allowing him to dictate to us what he does anyway? He signed through 2023. You know, if he wants to be out, that doesn't matter. And if he wants to hold out because he doesn't want to play, you're really going to do that to Baker, your friend? Also, I mean, he may not be best friend, but he's best friends with Jarvis. And Jarvis isn't going to hold out. Jarvis wants to play. So why would he do that? It doesn't make any sense. Unless you've got like somebody like the Patriots, who obviously OBJ would love to play with Tom Brady. But at this point, when Tom Brady's like 41 years old, do you really want to play with him? Look at the quarterbacks that are out there. If I'm a wide receiver in the prime of my career, and I think I'm the greatest wide receiver out there, I want to play for Drew Brees. I want to play for maybe Aaron Rodgers. I want to play for Tom Brady. And those are the main guys. Maybe Phillip Rivers, maybe Jared Goff a little bit. You don't really want to play for Lamar Jackson. He's a running back who plays quarterback. So he's not gonna throw for 300 yards a game. He's gonna throw 15 times a game, 17 times a game. You don't want to play in Baltimore. You don't want to play in Cincinnati. You don't want to play in Pittsburgh. So I mean, I could go on and on, but you really want to play for Drew Brees. I don't know if Drew Brees wins the Super Bowl this year, I think he's gone. Tom Brady wins the Super Bowl, he's probably gone. You got Garoppolo out there. He's interesting, but I don't think he's a guy who's going to take over games. So, I mean, and then you got Baker Mayfield. Baker Mayfield throws 35 times a game. Unfortunately, he's throwing that much. So if you're going to be a diva wide receiver, why would you not want to be with Baker Mayfield? And if he's going to cause this much of a problem, I don't know. I don't really care, to be honest. We got Njoku back. We got, I don't know what we're going to do with Higgins, but we could find other wide receivers. OBJ, just play. That's all I got to say. And if they ask you straight up questions like, do you want to be in Cleveland? Answer directly, and those problems go away. Okay? All right. Guys, thank you very much. I've been talking now for about close to 40 minutes, so I want to say thank everybody. Well, we got to do the homage giveaway. Oh, sorry. Okay, homage giveaway. We won the game. All right. Type a number 1 to 100 now. Okay, and guys, it's not going to be like a Browns player. I'm going to randomly pick a number. This is not going to be a Browns player. It's not going to be like, it's not going to be like, 20, 24 or 27 who had a big game. Okay, it could be, but it's not going to be like I've done in the past. It's going to be a random number. Okay, I got my number. It's in there. Go ahead, type your number on. This is for the homage t-shirt giveaway. Oh, my eyeball. Yeah, so, and for everybody out there, homage has been really nice this year. They've been great, and they give us t-shirts. They give me a ton of kind of cool stuff, which is great. Obviously, we give them a lot of impressions. We drive a little bit of business to them. I would definitely appreciate it if you use the links that I tweet out to buy stuff from Homage. Let them know that you like the show, you like the channel, you like my Twitter content, etc. That helps me out a lot. And I'm not really doing it. I'm not doing it for monetary gain. Everything I get from any affiliate links, anything like that, I'm going to launch a Patreon here in a little bit. Probably going into next year, we're going to launch Patreon. And it's not going to be about me making money. I have a full-time job. I'm not trying to get rich off this. I want to be able to go and get cool stuff. Like, one of the things I would love to be able to do is at every post game be able to give away tickets to the next Browns home game. So if we had enough money that we could buy tickets through affiliates, through sponsors, through all that kind of stuff, through Patreon, that I could buy tickets. So every game that you would come into the Brownie post game after we played a game, and the next home game, if I could give away tickets every time, I think that'd be amazing. And that's honestly the dream. That's what I want to do. So, but we have to build it up. We got to get a little bit bigger before we can do that because they're expensive. All right, last guy, Kyle Liu who had 67. Kyle, you get one number. So whatever your first one was is what you get. So Kyle, the first thing that you said was 28. Your number's 28. All right, so that's it. The number was 61. So who got closest to 61? Matthew Stoner with 66. That's pretty close. No, Matthew Stoner with 60. Your first one is what you get. So he won with 66. That's the one. Anybody else closer than that? I think that's it. I think Matt Stoner gets it. The number was 61. I'm just going back to double check that I'm correct, that he's the closest one. Because 56 would have been 5 and 61. Well, I guess it's technically a tie, right? Is it because we have typical gamer. So that's 5. Right? I'm just doing the math. Yeah, so typical gamer and Matt Stoner both are tied. So okay, so typical and Stoner are tied. So now we're gonna go to overtime for the homage giveaway. We're going to overtime. And so this is going to be another, we're going to do 1 to 100 again. Just typical and Stoner. Okay. Here we go. And I'm going to put in my number now. What number should I put in there? Let's put in, got my number in. And so go. Just waiting for Typical Gamer and Matthew Stoner to give the answers. All right, so Typical is in. Matthew Stoner, you're up next. Just waiting for Matthew to get his number in there, and then we'll give out the t-shirt giveaway. Matthew Stoner, you got 10 seconds to put in your number. If you don't do it in 10 seconds, go on Typical Gamer. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Put in your number. And so Mako 76, he's good. No, it's not. Well. All right, let me ask him. Stoner, Matt. Well, technically, if the number is less than 76, yeah, so probably would be better to go with like number 49 or 50, which from a strategy standpoint. But we'll see. All right, it doesn't look like Stoner's going to do it. So my number was 39. And since Matt Stoner didn't do anything, Typical Gamer, you win. Okay, Typical Gamer, you win. So I don't know if typical gamer if I have your information. If not, definitely send me your contact. Send me your address. Yeah, can I type? Why am I not typing right? Typical. Okay, browniepostgame@gmail.com, and we're good to go. Guys, thank you very much for watching. Congratulations to our winners. Guys, congratulations to everybody who won. We have Hambone, who won the Christmas ornament. We have Typical Gamer, who won by default because he intimidated Matthew Stoner out of the running for the win. But I will say, guys, don't type more than one number. It makes it harder for me to figure out. This isn't an easy thing. All right, guys, thank you very much for watching. Go Browns. Still technically in the hunt, even though it's very unlikely it's going to happen, but technically in the hunt. We got to take care of business. We have got a couple more games. So we got 3 more games, guys. We got Arizona. We got Baltimore. We got the Bengals again. 3 more games. The German 3. 3 more games. Right? 3 more games. See if we could turn this into a winning season, a 500 season, or a losing season. Right? So here we go. All right, guys. Thank you very much. Thanks for watching. Go to Homage. Buy some stuff. Use promo code Brownie. Save yourself 15%. Use the links that I send out as well. So you can... so when you go to Homage, if you buy stuff, it gives us credit from an affiliate standpoint. I appreciate that. Thank you guys all for joining us on the postgame, and a lot of you guys on the pregame show. I appreciate all of you. And we will see you next week for pregame and postgame for Arizona. If not, use that. Talk to me on Twitter, and I'll see you. Go Browns!